What's up, guys? Welcome to your 196th Android tutorial for the new Boston. I believe it's 196. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to set up basically the reference to the jar we just added, because again we did add a jar to our project, but we still need to make that reference within the manifest. So what we're going to do is we're going to go within our application bracket of the manifest, and we need to make that reference again to the jar that we added. So how we do that is just pretty simple. We're going to create an activity, so nothing new there. Give us some space to work with, and we need to refer for the activity name to be basically an add activity. So we're going to say Android name equals, and then this has to be verbatim, this has to be the exact same, so we're going to say com.google.ads.add activity. So make sure your spelling's correct and all that good stuff, otherwise nothing's gonna our ads aren't gonna be working. So we need to have this as a reference name or Android name. You also want to set up the Android config to be Android config changes, and we're just going to set this equal to be keyboard, and then we need to put one of those straight, oops, spelled keyboard wrong, could be bad, and we want to put one of those straight lines. Not exactly sure what this this thing's called. It's not an L, but it's like shift and then the button right above your return or enter key, just one of those straight up and down lines. And then we're just gonna say keyboard hidden, and again we're gonna put one of those straight lines, and we're just gonna say orientation. And now we have basically the reference set up to our jar that we just added. So I'm just gonna say control save, make sure I don't get any errors. Again, just for our Android name, we need to have it com.google.ads.add activity, and for config changes, again keyboard hidden, and orientation. So there we go, we basically just set up the reference within our manifest. And now let's actually get into setting up an ad within XML. So we're just going to go into our layouts here and pick one of our layouts. Let's go with our main XML. This is our first little activity that we created, and we're just going to add an ad within this linear layout. So to do that, what we need to do is again make a reference or a connection within our first bracket. So like if you guys have a linear layout or a relative layout, we basically need to make a connection so we can use some methods. That's all this is doing. I think I might have explained that, but that's just allowing us to use some of these Android, colon layout or orientation and all that good stuff. So that's why we need to have a reference like this. But we're also going to have another reference for our ads. So what we're going to do is we're going to say XML ns ads equals, and then we have to put in http schemas.android.com /apk/lib/com.google.ads. So I know it's kind of long, but you guys want to make sure again your spelling's correct on this, everything's good. And again, this will just allow us to add like ads within XML and all that good stuff. So again, http / or just pause the video and make sure you guys have this verbatim. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add an ad below our second button. Again, this is our layout here. We're just going to put an ad like somewhere here. So let's go down into our code, go below our second button, and we're just going to add an ad just like we add everything else, just a greater than sign, and then we're just going to say com.google.ads.addView, like that. And we can set up an ID, so we're just going to say Android ID equals @ plus ID / add. If you guys want to set up an ID pretty much the same way as you guys are familiar with, we're also going to set up a layout width and layout height. So you can just set that equal to be wrap content and maybe Android height layout height to be wrap content as well. Get nothing new, pretty easy, huh? And what's really important is the add references, because again, this is coming from that first reference or that first XML that we've already had, so we can use these Android references. But now we're going to use the add references. So we're going to say adds and then add unit ID. So make sure that's spelled correctly. And we're going to get to this in the next tutorial, so I'm just going to say next tutorial. So we're going to have to change that to make the connection, with our specific ID, so we can, so we can get paid and they can keep track of the user, all that good stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to say this add is going to load when the onCreate method gets called of this activity, whichever activity has this layout. So we're going to say load add on create. We're going to set this equal to be true, and we just close off our statement with / lesson sign. So that's how we kind of add within our application, and you can kind of see the layout here of what it looks like. And oh yeah, we forgot the ad size, but we'll probably get into that in the next tutorial. So make sure you watch the next tutorial, because it's going to be pretty important, because obviously we're missing something already. But I'll catch you guys then, and hope you have a good one.